it's Skill By It here. In this video, I'm going to show you how to correctly plastic weld using a staple welding gun or soldering iron. And we'll talk about some other ways also. So some things you might need, well, plastic piece you're going to weld on, plastic staple welder, soldering iron, some clamps. You might need some zip ties, or, and we'll talk about it, another source of plastic staples, and some pieces of wood to clamp your material to potentially. All right, first thing you want to do is clean the parts, the plastic. Use some warm soapy water and get that as clean as you can so the dirt doesn't contaminate it. Now, leather gloves are the best. I am not wearing leather gloves, but they are the best for protection. I am wearing a mask and I have glasses on to protect my eyes. There will be some fumes. Now, I don't recommend this plastic staple gun. It's just the one I have, but I don't recommend it for a few reasons. It didn't come with all the parts, but secondly, and possibly more important, it uses this M18 battery, and that's great, except the angle is not good if you have to do something that's flat. So I'm having to move over here like so. So let me move the camera. Okay, hopefully you'll be able to see this. I have this flattened and I have a piece of board underneath it, and I'm gonna put it here, set this staple right where I want it here at the crack where it starts. Now I'm gonna pull the trigger. It's smoking, it's sinking in a little. Turn, let go of the trigger. You're letting it cool down. The little twist at the end embeds it inside the plastic so it'll hold a little better. Okay. Did it go through? Yeah, I went a little deep. That was disappointing. I'm just gonna let that sit, and I'm gonna do another one next to it. You just slide the staple in. And I'm going with the little wavy one, and I'm gonna put it right here. Pull the trigger, twist, let go. I pulled up too soon. There we go. That one I did not go through. Yay. All right. One of the small wavy ones. I'm gonna put it right here. Pull the trigger. Don't push down. Just kind of let it twist, let go of the trigger. I'm going to let it sit here. There. That's a good one. That's how you want all of them to be. Now we can move to the next one. Now you could do one here early if you want, if you need to hold it in place, but mine's in place, so I'm not worried about it. Slide the next one here, and we're going to repeat. So there's a ridge there. I'm going to go right past the ridge. See if we can pull trigger. Don't push down. Twist, let go. Let it cool. There we go. That's another good one. Oh, on staples. So these are stainless steel staples. I'll link to the ones that I use on the staples because these are actually good. They're stainless steel, so they're not going to rust. And I don't think you can see it, but they actually have a little cut at the corners here, so you can break them off easier. All right, same thing. Slight twist, let go. There. It doesn't take long to get the right technique, and then you can use your diagonal cutters. Now these do have the little bends. Now these are, again, stainless steel, so they're not going to rust, so I'm not actually that worried about these sticking out. There, see that one? I just pushed on it like that. That's how these are, the good staples are supposed to work. And this is not thick plastic. That's why they just barely pass the surface. But just to show you, on the other side where you see, you can just barely see that one. Those don't show. Yeah, that one was, first one I did, I messed up a little bit. All right, so now I'm using a soldering iron. I've already flattened this out, smoothed it out. So far, we've not had to deal with what type of plastic it is. This happens to be polypropylene. And you can see, just with a hot soldering iron, I'm just covering the staple up. You can use like stainless steel mesh and kind of cover it up and then solder over it to get it to stay. You could use a regular staple, but you're going to have that completely covered so it doesn't rust. I highly recommend the stainless. And there are these spots that stick up a little bit on the staples. You could use a little rotary zip and sand those off if you wanted to. So if they were sticking out the bottom, I'd probably do that. But these are on top, so I'm not going to worry too much. And I'm just covering it up. It's just melting, and right here where I don't have a staple, so it's covered. It's gonna, basically that crack on this side is gone. Now it is still on the other side, but we can do the other side also if we want to add a little more strength there. I am not a very creative, artistic person. So I'm not good at this part of it at all. Oh, and you want a flat head on the soldering iron here. Okay. Hopefully you can see that. Is it pretty? Not really. But that crack is now gone. And this, believe it or not, will hold without any issues. Other side, just take your soldering iron here. I'd like to think I could drag it here, but I found that that doesn't really work well. I find like a stitch pattern seems to work best for me. You can see those fumes. Make sure you got at least a mask on. And this is just adding a little extra strength. And this is where I messed up the first staple. And be sure to get the end. This is where the crack ended, so it hopefully won't continue. Now it shouldn't, because this is pretty solid. Okay, that's not pretty. I could take some time and do more there. But that crack is fixed. This could save you easily a couple $100. That's what a new one of these is. All right, let's say you didn't have enough plastic. So you got a zip tie. Now zip tie will normally work on the propylene stuff. So right here is in a crack, and it was kind of hard. I was able to cover it over on the other side using this, but here I can't really get good access, and so I'm going to take and put the zip tie here. And I'm just melting the zip tie over that crack. So there you go. So there's where you use a zip tie. That's to add material. But again, for it to stick well, it has to be the same type of plastic. So make sure yours is. Oh, and a tip, this bucket cracked. That's what happens when you leave it outside when it's freezing and it has water in it. It cracked, and the duct tape does actually help, but it seeps. So this is number 2. It's a polyethylene plastic. So most of your bottles, like laundry stuff, detergent and bottles, the plastic ones, most of those will have a 2. So to fix this one, I'm gonna have to get a lot, because there's a lot of missing here, of 2. Now I will clamp, but I've already tried to squeeze this and it does not want to squeeze. So I will squeeze it as much as I can. I will then put some staples. I'll then need to use some number 2, the polyethylene, and start filling that in order to fix that one. So if you're wondering what the extra wood was for, it's to help clamp. Okay. So I got it where I want it. Unfortunately, I can't do it this direction because of this gun. Squeeze trigger. Turn, let go. Oh, that went deep. All right, wasn't too bad. Now I want to get a staple on this side. All right, it's gonna be really hard to clamp that. So what I'm gonna do, got the leather gloves on now. I'm gonna try to strengthen this right here. You're just melting plastic. Now, you can get a plastic epoxy glue that works well. Finger off the trigger till you're ready to use it. Okay. Now there's nothing behind this one, so Gotta be very careful that you don't go through. Twist, stop. Okay. Just barely went through slightly. It'll be all right. Switch to the soldering iron. I am going to actually add a little material here. Oh. Okay, now we're gonna flip it. Sure to get the start and finish of the cracks well. So we're gonna give that at least 5 minutes, and I'll start working on these others. That's as strong as it was new. Doesn't look as pretty, but I mean, you could, if you really wanted to, you could take your time and try to smooth that out. In fact, you could sand it and all that. All right, well, that's all there is to it. I'll have links in the description for the tools I used. Again, I'm not a big fan of this particular staple welder, but it does work when they send you all the parts, at least. But as you can see though, this thing is good and strong. That's gonna hold, not a problem. Save you a few $100. I couldn't believe how much a new one of these cost. So I hope that was helpful. If so, please like, subscribe, comment, and good luck with yours.